I'm here with Canadian Member of Parliament Charlie Angus. You've come out with a very strong op-ed message to Donald Trump. Mr. Angus, what's that message?
This message is for my fellow Canadian parliamentarians to get their act together. What we're looking at right now, coming out of as Mar-a-Lago moves to Washington, we're watching a grifter's parade. We've got loser billionaires like Kevin O'Leary coming down and to talk to Trump and saying he's going to cut a deal to sell out Canada. We got losers on Fox talking about taking over making us the 51st state. We all know what that's about. This is all about diversion. Donald is coming in at a time that he's going to bring maximum chaos, maximum havoc to the American people. So he's looking for a punching bag, and there's his nice, quiet Canadian neighbors that they're threatening they're going to take over. He's going to steal all our water, maybe come and take the chickens out of the backyard as well. I don't know. But the thing is, Donald, it's not going to work. And what you're doing is you're creating chaos for your own people. And my message in this op-ed this week is for Canadian parliamentarians. It's like, people, time to get your game face on. This guy, we may think he's a clown. We may think he's an idiot, but he can do serious damage, particularly with these 25% tariffs across the board, which will hit people on both sides of the border really hard. We need to be ready for this guy when he comes in, and we need to have a very, very strong Canadian message. And I'll tell you, just in conclusion, I can't walk anywhere on the streets without people coming up and talking to me about standing up to Trump. I walk into the coffee shops. The guys who are usually arguing hockey are saying to me, what are we doing? When are we going to stand up? We're not going to give in to this guy. So there's a lot of grassroots strength across the country. What we're missing is a clear sense of leadership right now to stand up and push back to Donald Trump and to work with our allies who also need to say to Trump, you're going to have to rein it in when you come in there, Mr. POTUS.
Are you surprised at American corporate media taking what Donald Trump is saying and so normalizing it, talking about teasing territorial expansion, inviting Kevin O'Leary on? You referenced that on Fox, where they're having discussions where they're not doing it in a joking manner. Like, they are actually talking about carving up Canada and America conquering it, and why this would be a good thing for the United States of America. And then someone like O'Leary, who's Canadian, although you probably don't want him to be, is out there saying, yeah, this would actually be great for us. We need this. Does that surprise you? The media capitulation here, or is it what you expected?
I think what's really worrisome, and I think this is what we're all going to have to pay attention to in the coming years, is that we've counted on checks and balances all the way along to keep democracy healthy. And one of those checks and balances is an independent media, one that doesn't kiss the ring of the king. But what we've seen since Trump's, I think, surprising election for many is how quickly a lot of what should be independent media have buckled. Now, Fox, they're different. They're not really independent of anything. They are part of the MAGA agenda. So I'm not surprised by anything they're doing. But, when other publications like the Washington Post had refused to get involved because Jeff Bezos didn't want to offend Trump, or we see major newspapers and media trying not to talk about just how dangerous the language is that's coming out of Mar-a-Lago. It raises serious concerns, I think, for whether or not democracy will be able to withstand the full-on attack that's coming that way. As for Kevin O'Leary, hey, go to the States, Kevin. We'll wrap you up in ribbons and bows, and we'll call it even, because the guy's a grifter.
And that's what we say about a lot of these MAGAs who brag about, how great things are in Russia and under Putin, and how things aren't woke. We go, you know what? That's what you like. Try it out there and tell me what you think. But I want to talk about the dynamic that exists right now, so our audience knows about the Canadian political zeitgeist. You're a member of the NDP party. You have members of the Liberal Party, which is the party in power under Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. And then you have the main opposition party, the Conservative Party, led by Pierre Poilievre. And Pierre Poilievre has often been, people like him, even at the provincial level, like Doug Ford, they've often been described as a maple MAGA, but they had previously expressed a lot of desire to be more like MAGA. You got people here who fund MAGA, who seem to be very supportive of that kind of right-wing conservative party opposition. But now you even hear Poilievre and Doug Ford, at least publicly, making statements saying, no, we're not going to be a 51st state. Are they seeing the popular support that people like you are getting, and now they feel that they have to kind of be tough? Is this all a fake out? And then if they get into power, are they going to just do what Trump and they want? What's the real dynamic going on?
Well, this is a really important question. We've got a couple of major hurdles facing us right now. The Trudeau government has become very unpopular. To survive, they needed the support of our party, the New Democratic Party. To get that support, we forced them to make some major investments that they didn't want to make. We got a national dental care program for Canadian people. We've got the beginnings of a national pharmacare program. That's a huge win for working people in this country. And that shows what can happen in what we call a minority parliament, where the government has to work with other parties. Trudeau, unfortunately, his party seems to be in disarray at a time we need strong leadership with Trump coming in. The Liberals are engaged in total infighting, so that's very concerning. Pierre Poilievre, on the other hand, his team have been running the full MAGA playbook, the full disinformation playbook, swinging for the rage algorithms every chance they get. It's kind of a pitchfork politics, intimidation politics. It certainly all our American viewers are going to be very, very familiar with. What concerns me is that he's now trying to reposition himself as someone who could stand up to Trump. But this is a guy who I think when push came to shove would get shoved. I don't think he has Canada's best interests. We've seen earlier this year, Conservatives were promoting Elon Musk as coming in and running our satellite systems. I think Elon Musk represents a political threat wherever he goes. We see with his support for the far right in Germany, we do not want to be cutting deals with him over our telecommunication system, which needs to be, I think, in Canadian hands. So right now, we've got a lot of squabbling politicians. And as you know, William Butler Yeats said, the beast is slouching towards Bethlehem. So my call to Canadian parliamentarians is get your act together. We need to actually stand up with one voice. Our premiers can't be out undercutting us, trying to kiss Donald's ring, jump up and down to get his attention. Our parliamentarians have to stop this infighting, because come January, a lot of stuff's going to start going down very, very fast.
Let me just show everybody how Pierre Poilievre was playing to that rage algorithm. This is from several months back. So this was before Trump ended up winning the elections here, and before Donald Trump started making Canada the punching bag, which then Maple MAGA, Pierre Poilievre and Doug Ford and others had to kind of now act like they're going to be standing up. But what you say is that's just what they're saying to basically try to win. Just I'll have people watch this here, because it also, I think, sheds light on your parliamentary system in contrast to what people see on our House floor. So let's play this clip.
When will we put an end to this wacko policy by this wacko Prime Minister?
No. I'm going to ask the Honourable Leader of the Opposition to withdraw that term, which is not considered parliamentary.
Mr. Speaker, I replace wacko with extremist. He is an
The Honourable Member to please, I'm going to ask the Leader of the Opposition once again to just withdraw that comment, please.
I'll replace it with radical fascist policy.
I am not asking to replace. I'm asking the Honourable Member to just simply withdraw.
Mr. Speaker, I replace the word wacko with extremist.
I'm going to ask the Honourable Leader of the Opposition one last time.
I simply withdraw and replace with the aforementioned adjective.
I have to name you for disregarding the authority of the chair. I order you to withdraw from the House and from any participation by video conference for the remainder of this day's sitting.
Thought it was worth showing that clip. You can comment on that, but I just want to get your kind of final thoughts, your final call to action heading into the new year. That your audience, a lot of Canadians, as you know, watch this network. A lot of worldwide audience watch this network, and of course, Americans are watching this, and they all love you on this program. They tell me to always invite you back as a guest, so you can comment on that. But more importantly, what's your final message to the millions of Meidas Mighty out there?
Well, okay, again, so you know, our speaker is supposed to be super neutral. We don't pick a partisan speaker, and the respect for the speaker. When the speaker tells you to withdraw, you have to withdraw. And I've been called out many times. I don't know. They say that I'm sometimes going over the line, but what Poilievre was doing there, it's part of this tactic of undermining the systems of government, was to undermine the speaker, to taunt him, to refuse to withdraw. It's a concerning tactic, because if you start to undermine the parliamentary rules only exist really if we put trust in them. It's kind of like a code of honor that democracy lives by. So democracy's hanging by a thread, not just in Canada, but all over the world. And this is something we really need to stay focused on, is defending our democratic institutions, whether it's at the school board level, whether it's at the municipal level. There are people who are out to undermine that. So my final message is, I think what we've learned from November 5th is that nobody's coming in to save us. Nobody's coming in with a magic wand to make things right again. We're going to have to do the work, and it's going to be a lot of hard work, but we're going to have to show a willingness to do that work. And I will say, for the mighty Meidas posse that you have, I get messages from across North America, from across the world, of people who are saying, I'm committed, I'm willing to do my part. I would just wish that more of our political leaders would stand up and carry the burden that we need to get us through. I think we will get through. I think thugs like Elon Musk and Donald Trump are going to wear pretty thin on people's nerves pretty quick. But I'm encouraging everyone to stay the course, stay strong, and just don't put up with the stupidity of the Maple MAGA crowd and their hate politics and their pitchfork politics. They can shout and holler all they want. They're not going to intimidate me. They don't have to intimidate you.
Charlie Angus, Member of Parliament, Canada. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Everybody hit subscribe. Let's get to 4 million subscribers.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.